Thank you for joining us today for our Realtor Bid Informational webinar. We're excited to have you here and appreciate you taking the time to learn more about the bidding process, the requirements, and the opportunities available. Today, during our session, we will cover, we can go to the next slide. We'll briefly discuss the bid opportunities that are available. We'll discuss how to register through our vendor registry system. We'll talk about the documents that are required, the evaluation, scoring, the pricing proposal. We'll discuss the programs that we have here at the Calhoun County Land Bank. We'll talk about when questions and answers are due, and at the end, we will have questions. If you do have any questions during this session, please enter your questions in the chat and we'll have time to discuss those at the end of this presentation. Okay. So, like I said briefly, we have a ton of bid opportunities here at the Land Bank. We have had lawn care, commercial roofing, snow, but today we will be discussing the Realtor bid and the specifics regarding how to bid for that specific proposal. So we have the vendor registries system that we use. We will be using this briefly only for the month of December. After the month of December, we will transition into BidNet, which is our new system that will come. So vendor registry, if you are not registered already, you will use this system, which there's a link here that will take you directly to the county website, which there are instructions listed there on how to get registered. What you do is you'll get through there, you'll register yourself through vendor registry, and that's how you'll receive all of the bid information. To receive any bid notification about bids that we might have, you have to be registered through vendor registry. Again, we'll be transitioning to BidNet January 1st. If you need help, you can call the 800 number and vendor registry will be there to support you. This is a free registration process. You do not need to pay for this. You'll just go through and use the free registration system. And so now I'll turn it over to Amy Rose, our Assistant Director.
All right. So when you are able to pull down the RFQ, so request for qualifications, it's kind of a large document. We highly suggest that you read all of it. Yet the most specific things that you'll be putting in with your submission are the required documents. So we're going to go through those so that you know what to expect and to kind of demystify some of the requests that we have. So the first one is the letter of interest, and that's a big one because it has a lot. So I will get to that a little bit more in the next slide. We're asking for if you are an individual realtor, we're asking for you to submit a letter of support from your broker, a certificate of good standing with the state of Michigan. If you have set your business up to be a business entity with the state, that is where you get that information regarding your certificate of good standings. The evidence of insurance for general liability, auto, and workers' comp, if it's applicable. A copy of your realtor's license. Also, proof that you are a member of the Battle Creek Association area. Battle Creek Area Association of Realtors. 3 references, and then the last 4 documents are all included in the RFQ, and those are literally read them, sign them, date them. If you need them to be notarized, get them notarized. that sort of thing. The final piece, the budget and pricing proposal, is included in the RFQ. Well, in this case, it was an RFP, but it's included in the RFQ as part two, and we'll get more to that later as well. So the letter of interest or letter of intent is really the guts of your submission. So it's going to have things like your company name, your contact information, how your business is set up, the organization of that business, a statement of management and a summary. So there are four very specific bullets in the RFQ that we would like you to speak to in your letter of interest. Identify whether you're a minority owned or a women owned business enterprise, um, ability to promote our programs. Talk on those. We are going to go over them very briefly, but our website is loaded with information if you want to learn more about those. Um, if are you a B car representative or member, and your familiarity with foreclosed properties, and again, that broker approval, if you are applying as an individual, is going to be very important. This we would like to see a copy of your realtor's license. We understand this is the real estate broker license, but yeah, that's what we could find. And so we would like to see that, just a copy of it. And here there are instructions. If you go to the Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs, there are instructions on how to obtain your certificate of good standings. So, and I think I just did Tanisha's slide, but sorry, Tanisha. So,
Nope, no worries. And so another thing that we need to have, like Amy mentioned before, is your evidence of your insurance. So if you can give us a copy of you that shows that you have general liability in the amount of 500,000. If you do have, if this applies to you, if you have employees, then you need to have workers' comp. And then your automobile liability in the amount of 500,000 per policy. So each of those, it's important that you show that you have that coverage in those specific amounts. That's what we'll be looking for, and you will receive points on that. We also, as Amy mentioned, need to see 3 references. So they can be buyers or sellers of people that you've worked with, associates, brokers, etc. Please include your previous experience of working with any government agencies or nonprofits if you work with the city or another county. And we will check those references. So please make sure that you list all information that is needed for us to contact those references.
so um, this is an open, um, this RFQ is in 2 parts. So the first part is what we're going to talk about right here. So these are how you will get points for your evaluation. So the qualifications of the firm, the capacity to provide the services, so your license, your membership at VCAR, the familiarity with with the land bank, education outreach, so knowing about the programs that we have, all of those will go into, as well as your experience and other qualifications are part of the evaluation, part one. You have to score 65 points in order for us to progress to the part two. The part two is this is a document. There are only 2 places that you will need to fill in. One of them is the maximum commission. I'll go through the maximum commission box at the top and the anticipated percentage down here at the bottom. Everything is all in these 4 rows in the middle are already set. Those are established commissions that the land bank pays in order for it to be a little bit more enticing for our realtors to work for us because we know that a lot of our properties are challenging. So there's a little bit more. It's not as much of an incentive to work at that percentage amount exclusively. So those four rows that break down our sales, property sales amounts, those are already set. So our top row, the first one is really, we have properties that range from $200 to $1,999. And if there is a property sales price that is in that range and you as a realtor have been asked to assist the buyer with obtaining with a purchase agreement, with getting title insurance, and title work completed, um, all of that stuff that goes along with the purchase agreement, from everything from purchase agreement to the closing table. We, as the land bank, our team will help the realtor in this process, most specifically with our side lot program. We have recently obtained funding to assist buyers with title insurance, title work, and closing costs to purchase that lot next door to them so that they can combine it with their principal place of resident property. So it becomes one unit. But in order to do that, we need title work completed on that. So our team at the land bank will assist our realtor team member to get through that whole process with the buyer. So we try to help, we try to work as a team to make that happen. So that maximum commission is what needs to be filled in here. According to, the new laws that are part of the realtor industry and splitting and not having to pay for the buyer's commission and only paying for the seller's portion of the commission, we have not we have not initiated that. We will be paying for both sides, both the sellers and the buyers, realtor representative, if there is one. So that's why the split commission on this side is kind of set. So I will say we have a range of properties that literally range from 200 to 15,000. We have a lot of properties that are in that range. We will be having more properties over the $28,601 in the coming year. This part two will not be opened by our evaluators until we know that the applicants and or bidders have reached that 65 points on this ladder slide. So these proposals will get dumped into a folder that we will not open until we know for sure that that first evaluation is completed.
So if you have any questions, again, you can put them in the chat. We will take any questions that arise from today's webinar and include those in the answers that we will post on December 5th. If you think of questions after you leave this webinar, the deadline to submit those questions is by December 4th. Those questions need to all be submitted via vendor registry. Those questions and the answers that you post will be seen by everyone. So if you didn't think of that question, it's okay, because every question that was asked and the answer to all of those questions will be posted for everyone to have access to. And those answers will be posted via vendor registry as well on December 5th. So if you're ready to submit your bid, these are some tips to take with you. Please do not wait till the last minute. Sometimes we have bids come in and they're due by 3 o'clock. If you have some technical difficulties, give yourself at least 20 minutes before, um, hopefully the day before, but make sure that you have time to so that you can submit before the deadline, because once the deadline comes, it is a hard cutoff time. So you don't get until 3:01 or 3:03. It actually stops that right at the deadline time. Another thing that we want to make sure that you do is combine all of your documents into one PDF and upload it to vendor registry in one PDF. In this case, we'll have two different parts. So I'll go over how to name those two documents. But just make sure that everything that goes in part one and everything that goes in part two are together in one PDF. Also, another thing, please do not include your RFP in your bid. So all of the documents that we submit to you do not need to be submitted back to us. Only those, I think, 4 documents that you're signing need to be signed, scanned, and PDFed back into your bid. So you're creating your own packet from and using the documents from our packet that we supply you with. If you forget a document, don't panic. It doesn't need to be perfect, but please make sure that you get as many documents as you can into your RFP, because it can take points away from your bid if you don't have some of the more important documentation. And so, as I mentioned, bids are due by 3 o'clock on December 16th. So how you submit, we want you to take this here and as a naming convention. So please name your documents as we have listed here. For part one, it needs to be documented as RFQ number 30 CCLBA 2025, your company name part one. And then the second one needs to be listed the same way, but the end, please put part two. And those two documents can be uploaded via vendor registry. So when you get to vendor registry, it will have you log in. If you're already registered, you can just go ahead and put in your login information. After that, you'll go into view all attachments or this is how to submit. So um, you'll hit the submit search button so that you can upload all of your documents, and you'll hit the submit button at the top. So again, all of these instructions are listed on our website under how to bid. They're listed on the county website also. Please make sure you follow every single direction step by step. Make sure you view all of the attachments in that solicitation, and everything that you need is online. So if you have any questions with the technical part of uploading anything, please contact vendor registry. We can't help with that part, but vendor registry is great with helping with the submission of any documents or any technical aspects of vendor registry. So when you go to look for the solicitation, this is the screen that you will see, and this is what vendor registry looks like. You'll go to solicitations. At the bottom, it will say CCLBA RFQ number 30. You'll click on that, and that will open up the RFQ. And that has everything that you need there. Again, this is what if you're registered, you'll receive an email that looks like, and when you open it, it will look like this. And it will notify you that we have posted a bid.
So real quick, we're just going to go through these programs. Again, our website is a well-oiled machine in terms of what is on there. So if you have any other additional questions to what I'm going to tell you today, please feel free to go to calhounlandbank.org and oh my God, I cannot believe I almost forgot what it was. Calhounlandbank.org, and you can click on programs, and it's going to give you a drop down, excuse me, on all of these programs. So our vacant land programs are our side lot program. And like I mentioned earlier, we do have some funding for the city of Battle Creek that will allow us to do title work on the property that we are planning to sell to the buyer. And we will pay for the title work and the closing costs and the commission. And the only thing the buyer has to pay for is the lot and the deed recordation. And that's like our signature program is our side lot program. We did not normally have that title work option. Usually we sold it on a quick claim deed, one and done, you're out the door. We did them in-house. It was easy peasy lemon squeezy. But now we have this funding that will allow us to help the buyer to combine that side lot with their principal place of residence and or their house, the property with the house on it, and make it one so that they have one tax bill. Um, this has been extremely beneficial for folks in our core neighborhoods, which in Battle Creek are NPC 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we will be really diving more heavily into this title work option for our buyers. Our adopt a lot program is a lot like the side lot program, only the buyer may not meet all of the eligibility requirements, meaning that their taxes are paid in current and they have no code violations. If that is the case, then internally we will adopt that lot for $25 a year to the buyer that hopefully will eventually buy that lot. If they choose to. They just can't put anything permanent on that lot during that adoption period. Our development programs are, you know, are very will become even more popular in the next few years. But Transform This Home, we currently have two houses on the market right now that will be sold through that program, and that's where the buyer comes to us with a plan to rehabilitate the home as well as they would have enough funding to get them started on that process as well as to purchase it. So that is we get a safety inspection done by the jurisdiction as to everything that they have to do in order to obtain their certificate of occupancy. And they literally just have to put all of those requirements into their plan and show us that they have proof of funds and the ability and or experience on rehabilitation. So that's Transform This Home. Transform This Commercial Property as well as Develop This Lot are somewhat very similar. The buyer has to, well, Transform This Commercial Property has a structure. Develop This Lot does not have a structure. So, but Transform This Commercial Property is a lot like Transform This Home in that they have to come to us with a plan for that commercial property. It's very similar to Develop This Lot because Develop This Lot is basically taking care of most of the pre-development phases of a development prior to closing on the development. So if in fact on Transform This Commercial Property or Develop This Lot, the buyer comes to us, their plan is to have X. Well, if they can't do X due to zoning or due to the type of building that they want, then that project is going to fail. So what we don't want to happen is for it to fail before they even get it off the ground. So the buyers will come to us, they will negotiate the price with the realtor. They will meet with our team to find out exactly what they plan to do with that property. And our team will help them through pretty much five core areas. They need to get approval from zoning, building. They need to have a plan of action, meaning a build team ready to go. And they have to have a proof of funds that shows that they have funding enough to build or get them started in a big way to build that project, as well as we do have some assistance for environmental site assessments. So those five basic things are really on all of the projects. There may be additional things that have to happen, like say you have to know if a well could be drilled there because you don't have access to city water. Um, Anything, there are some specifics that we will go through with the buyer. Our team does that. Our team works very closely with the buyers to make sure that their pre-development pieces are all in line, and then we go to closing. If one of those pieces falls off, then we have not taken a buyer's money and then turn around and are going to get it back through the foreclosure process. So that's what we're trying to avoid. So those are our programs in a really quick nutshell. Go to our website if you want to learn more about them.
And so that leads us to an event monthly that the Land Bank hosts. That event is called the Calhoun Builders Connection Group. The mission there is to provide support to existing and emerging contractors while providing additional services to the BIPOC community and women skilled tradespeople to develop a stronger, more inclusive skilled trades pipeline. So we have this meeting every month at the Link Community Event Center. Normally, it's every fourth Friday. But this month, of course, because of the holidays, our next meeting will be December 12th at 8 a.m. It's a great place where realtors, contractors, everyone comes together. We have hot breakfast and hot coffee that we serve for free every month. We have a speaker that comes. We have a different guest speaker that comes every month. And so we really enjoy taking this time every month to connect with the community and also allowing everyone else to connect with each other. Bring your business cards. We have a table full of probably 100 plus business cards that people leave every month and that you can come and you can take with you to make even more connections further on. It's a great place for realtors to come. We have lots of realtors that already attend. So this is just a great place to come and connect and meet new people, meet new clients, and more. So again, our next meeting is Friday, December 12th at 8 a.m. at 311 Michigan Avenue in Battle Creek. So some final tips and takeaways from all of this that we just learned. We want to make sure that we just say again that we know the RFQs, they can be a wealth of information. They're 30 plus pages sometimes. So our advice is to make sure you take your time to read and reread things again. It's a lot of things to take in, but just make sure that you read everything and double check. Make sure that you use the checklist that you have to make sure everything is included. There is a checklist at the beginning of every single RFQ or RFP. And it lists every single thing that needs to be included in your bid packet. So make sure that you use that checklist to make sure you have everything. And our final takeaway or our final tip is that if you don't win this bid, just please make sure that you keep trying, keep connecting with us. This will come back around in a few years, but we want to make sure that you try again and don't give up. And we are here to help you. So if you do want to see what happened with your bid or where you could have done better, just make sure to reach out to us and we are happy to assist and help you. And for our final slide, I'll hand it back to Amy Rose to take questions.
Okay, I'm gonna just stop sharing for a hot minute and look in the chat. So I don't see any questions. I can unmute everybody. If anyone has any questions, please either I've unmuted everybody. So if you have a question, please let me know. Please let Tanisha and I know, and we're happy to answer those. Okay, maybe I didn't unmute. No questions?
Well, let me see. I think we
Can
have.
we email you later if we have questions?
You can. Okay. With a license held at the Kalamazoo Association, would this automatically disqualify a realtor? We are members of the Battle Creek Area Association of Realtors, and we would like our realtor to also be a Battle Creek Area Association of Realtor member. So, uh, yeah, that was one of the criterias. Sorry.
And to answer the question about the email, you can send us an email with your questions, but again, we would prefer questions to be entered through vendor registry, so that way everyone can see them. But yes, we will accept that and we will add that to the questions that we upload on vendor registry, and we'll answer them there. Any other questions or comments?
I appreciate you guys' time. Thank you.
Thank you. And this will be available on our website. So if you want to go through it again, feel free. But we're just gonna let it park there. And if you do need to refer back to it, please do so. But yeah, put the questions into vendor registry. You can email them to us if you need to. I will go ahead and share our last slide with you if I can get this back up. Yeah. Can you see if I can share? So our contact information is right here. Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay. So, and if you have a question, we will, we'll definitely make sure it gets put in with the questions. All of our the questions will come in the form. If you are already registered, you'll get an email blast that says on the 5th. So questions are due on the 4th. We'll post everything on the 5th. You'll get an email that says, "Hey, something just got posted to this. So go back and look." And then that will help you to, with whatever, with your submission that's not due until the 16th. Okay. So we're hoping that, that we get all the submissions in on the 16th. Now, I will tell you this. You will also be getting, if you've registered, you will also be getting an email from BidNet that says, now that you've registered on Calhoun County's um, vendor registry, you're now going to be put into BidNet. So you'll still, after, if in how many ever years we decide to take this contract, um, you'll be on it again for the next round. So, the BidNet transition from vendor registry to BidNet is supposed to be seamless. But anyway, but if you do have questions regarding that and you want to give me a call because you're afraid to open an email, I totally get that. Give us a call. All right, folks. Thank you very much for your time. And if you have, good luck with your submissions, and we look forward to seeing them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.